This morning we're joined by therapist Karen Phillip and journalist Angela Mollard. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Firstly, a new study suggests babies who are spoon-fed by their parents are more likely to become overweight toddlers. Karen, what do you think of this?
Well, apart from being rather ridiculous, all toddlers need to be spoon-fed when they are learning, before they learn to actually feed themselves. But I think any parent would be well aware that if a child doesn't want to eat, they'll simply not eat, or they will be perhaps have it put in their mouth and they will spit it out. So I can't see any connection to childhood obesity and being fed by your parents.
Exactly. What are you supposed to use, a toothpick or a shovel? I think what we have done with parenting now is professionalised it, so that women having children later, they see it as more results-based. So I certainly, when I had children, went from work to feeding a baby and I thought, I've got to get them, they've got to finish this plate full.
Yeah.
And then I took a deep breath and sat back and realised that food had to be fun. You had to eat with your children instead of that hierarchy thing where you're above them and feeding down into them. So I always actually sat with my children and sort of fed and moved on to finger foods as quickly as possible, actually. But yeah, you've got to have a spoon, for goodness sake.
There's so much pressure on parents to do everything perfect.
Yes.
This is just another pressure.
Yeah.
What good comes from surveys?
Well, sometimes surveys are good, but I mean, when you've done a survey where there's maybe 200 or 300 people involved, that's not a survey. It really isn't. That's just a question and answer forum, and it doesn't really give us any decisive answers on anything.
And also if the survey is sponsored by a company with a vested interest.
Yes.
I was writing last week in my column about intimacy and touch, and there was a survey sponsored by Durex. Now, what are they going to promote? Plenty of sex.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. And there is a retail... Thank you. There is a retail boom and people are hiring again, but retailers are banking on the charm of their staff. Now, Angela, how important is a smile when it comes to customer service?
Oh, I think it's become everything, because now that I buy a lot online, if I go into a shop, really what I want there is the service. So I'll go into it, and I mean that across the board, from Bunnings, from hardware stores to clothing stores to toy shops, particularly lingerie. Lingerie.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not supposed to mention any names, but you can get lost in a cubicle with, 4 bras, no way of getting out to get another one. Lingerie is where I would put the money. And I also think that shops need to be looking at not just shop assistants but stylists as well. So there's a couple of stores that I go into now because they know me and they know what I like. Obviously, not when I went in here.
I like this. That's like a happy pant.
They are, yeah. Some people would call them something else.
But if you go into a store and you don't get a friendly greeting, if you don't feel welcome, what are the chances of you sticking around?
Well, you go. If you're ignored, you leave. It's as simple as that. Or you just shop online. And if they want, customers to come back into the stores, all stores, large or small, have to provide a degree of customer service, friendly customer service, and not the continual, how are you today? Have a good day. That's all very, very scripted. We don't want scripted. Customers like that personal.
And honesty, I think, as well. I love it when someone says, no, it's not working for you. Or don't go that. That's not a great product. Or that's not going to last.
Or why don't you try this more expensive product? Fantastic.
Yes, is that how you
get those from?
Procure your Italian suits? Yeah, have another one.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but there's so much competition around there these days as well, isn't there?
There's a lot of competition. And women know, and I'm presuming men as well, if we go into a store and we try something on and we look at ourselves and go, no, not working, and they go, oh, that looks fantastic on you. You go, well, you know what, I don't trust in you, I don't believe in you, I will go elsewhere. Simple as that.
Good points. Okay, finally, an Aussie mum is taking to social media to entertain herself and her friends by posting photographs of her son dressed up in costumes. Some people think this is like public humiliation for kids. Karen, is this funny or is it too far?
Wow, I find it humiliating, and I don't think it's ever appropriate or funny to humiliate someone, particularly our own child. I find it a form of bullying, actually, and sure, when they're maybe babies, that one's just horrific, but when they're babies, we might want to dress them up in something cute, but as they're getting older, and the fact that they're asleep and they're not aware of it, it is completely disrespectful. I'm sorry, I can't find anything no enjoyment, no fun out of humiliating your own child.
I just can't understand why that mum isn't on her sofa with a cup of tea, reading a magazine, or at least hanging out the washing, or just doing something for herself. When your kids sleep, that's gold time. Why would you bother dressing them up? I just don't know why she can. And the Frida Kahlo,
How do they stay asleep?
I don't think they are. I think it's highly contrived. The other thing I would say is dress-ups is so much fun.
Oh, yes.
So why not do it with the kids when they're awake? You know, my children, one was a fairy for the best part of 2007 and the other one is still wearing a safari suit. I think do it with them, have fun.
Yeah.
Why would you do it while they're asleep? It's about the mum, it's not about the kids.
Oh, and
Maybe
the
that's,
posting it
yeah,
is.
is this one of those things that's, you know, 10, 15 years down the track for this particular child, they might look back and go, oh, no, what are you doing there?
Oh, look, I don't
That's
even
cringe.
think 10 or 15 years. I think a few years down the track when they're at school and someone gets hold of the Instagram pictures, I wouldn't like to be that child at all.
You're absolutely right. I recently posted a picture on Facebook of my eldest daughter who's 13 and she was really grumpy. She looked, you know, pretty sort of snarly that day. And she was really upset and I had to have a good strong think about that and think, you know, it's her right to present herself how she wants and this mum's completely taking away that right.
We don't like to be having photos taken when we first get up or even without makeup on.
Yes.
That makes us feel absolutely awful. So to do it to a child in that context it's just mean.
Have you taken photographs when you're a bit younger of something that you perhaps wish you didn't?
Oh, where to start? Oh gosh, every
But you
bikini.
look at it now and go, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I had a thing for rah-rah skirts, so we won't go there.
What's a rah-rah skirt?
Oh, it's one of those sticky out tutu-y
A
sort of
twirly skirt.
thing, yeah.
Right,
It's
okay.
a twirly skirt.
The ballerinas have?
Yeah,
A little bit.
no, not
No,
the
yeah.
Like a
tasteful.
really colourful type number?
I'll bring you a picture too.
I'll tell you who would look good in that. That'd be Clint Stanaway or Tom Steinford. I think that would look fantastic in the rah-rah skirts.
Very possible. Very possible. But then photos when we were young were photos. They weren't out there for the world to see. I think that's the difference. You can take photographs and have them in your album and go through them and maybe have a laugh within the family, but not to put them out for the world.
Ladies, as always, thank you very much for coming in today. Great entertainment. Sylvia.